These two boxes of Rallyman are jam-packed with possibilities, and it's my intention to highlight all of the interesting things you can do with them. This is Shakedown. In today's Shakedown, we're going to get creative with an alternative tracker for all of our time tokens. Assetto Corsa Rally got an update recently that added the Peugeot 306 Maxi kit car to its list of vehicles, but I'm not even going to entertain the thought of trying to get that game running on this PC, so here's footage of Rally de Europe for the PlayStation instead, whose Rossini FP07E seems awfully familiar. But that's not what I really care about. Look at that dial. Don't you just love a good dial? You can keep track of more than revs with a dial. Your massive pile of focus tokens, for example. It's safe to say that I've seen my fair share of Rallyman files over the years, but today I've gone back to an upload for the original Rallyman by Pun the Hun. His Chronolire is a thematic stopwatch-like dial designed to keep track of your second tokens. Spin it one way to add them, spin it the other way to remove them, remembering that each die costs more and more to secure, and finally every time you cross over a count of 30, increment the back dial to show the correct addition in the window. The stage in front of us is a dollop of asphalt tiles from the 110% or Monte Carlo expansion, and we'll emulate the original Rallyman by using the R5 Classic and its asphalt dashboard. No brakes, not even a double downshift, just gears, coasts and the open road. 2 runs today, me against the clock and then me against my personal best, which is of course me against the clock again really, isn't it? Let's see how far through the stage I can get before making a horrible mistake. In order to test this tracker out, we're going to need to go flat out more than usual, even for me. So we're going to start with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coast to kick us off. And that's going to earn us 7 focus tokens, or 7 seconds of course, in the world of Rallyman Dirt. So that's going on our tracker there, and that will put us in 5th gear. Next turn, and we are immediately going to rue the loss of brakes, and we're going to have to go through the shortcut I reckon in order to put us here in 3rd gear, or over here in 2nd, and then we can go 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, crash over the jump. Let's go flat out again. We could pay for a couple of these dice, of course, but I want a pool so that we get the most out of this dial. That gets us all the way here in 2nd gear. It gives us another 5 seconds. We're up to 12 seconds. The count is correct. And then we will also draw a shortcut token to see what happened during that shortcut. And it was the loss of a coast die. Not too good for setting a good stage time, that. So let's work around it as best we can on the next turn. Let's go 1st, 2nd, 3rd coast, and then we can go into 4th there before the jump, or would I want to go into 5th before the jump and then go over it in 4th on the next turn? I think we're going to go into 5th there because we're going to need to keep our time high, knowing that we can't get the distance with that loss of a coast die. So let's risk another flat out, just for the sake of recording it on the tracker. We've had another turn with 2 hazards and not the 3 needed to crash. We're up to 17 seconds now, another 5th gear finish. So over the jump in 4th would put us here, and then I think we might have to dip through on the inside in 3rd to get some distance, because we have not got the coast dice to go around the outside really. That would slow us down quite a bit, so we're going on the inside lines of most of these corners, and I think that's a safe flat out roll. It could come up 3 hazards of course, but not today. It's got us 3 more seconds. We are up to 20 on the tracker. Not enough coasts to get through this top corner around the outside in a drift. So, is it better for us to dip into second there. That's bad for the time, although we are in third, so we could swap that around to save 10 seconds like that. Is there anything else I would rather do instead? I don't think there is. I think we can speed up through these next two corners. We're probably going to have to take this shortcut and risk further damage. But we'll see what happens. We've got another 3 seconds and another third gear finish. Second, third, fourth, and we will use our one coast on the inside lane there and then get up to fifth like that. It's now that I'm considering whether to go flat out or not. Let's see how far we get, rolling one by one, and then we might have to test the dial going backwards. As it happens, we could have gone flat out. We could have added 5 more seconds to our 23, but instead we added none and played it safe. Will that be a wise course of action in a time trial? We are going into fourth, and then through the shortcut in fourth, and then out in fifth. We'll go flat out on those, and we'll get another clean set of dice, and that shortcut token is okay. We want to go fourth, fifth over the jump, puts us there, and then into that space there. Hazard on the 5 would be unfortunate, but we don't have one. We go over the jump in 5th gear and end just a few spaces away from the finish line. We're up to 29 saved seconds. We'll go across the line with 4 coast 5, and that will be just the one hazard on 5th gear as we cross the finish line. Nothing to worry about. A 5th gear time card to add to our pile, and we get to adjust this once more. We go 1, 2, 3, and then slide the backtrack around for 30 seconds more, and that means that we have taken in total 32 seconds from going flat out on this stage. Let's see what we've done in our first run. Run number 1 sees us cross the line after 2 minutes and 8 seconds. Not too bad, I suppose, though I wonder what we could have done without the early loss of a coast die. Before we get into the next run, what do we think about the Chronolire so far? I think that it has potential. I think that this version that I've got here certainly needs to have a few issues addressed. Chiefly, it probably shouldn't be 2mm thick grey board. That's a little on the thick side. I did do a card version, which was awfully crinkly when I first used PVA glue. It has since been flattened quite a bit, but it is still a little bit too thin to easily use. So I think somewhere between just normal card and grey board is your best bet for these things. I think the front dial might be a little too big. I think it might do with being a little bit smaller, just to align these arrows up a little bit better. However, my centre point does wiggle quite a bit, so that's probably my fault there as well. I do like it that it's simple for clockwise dialing. However, the number in the window is anti-clockwise, so I keep making the mistake of pushing it clockwise and wanting the time to go up, when actually you push it anti-clockwise for the time to go up. But seeing as they're just numbers on the end of spokes, that's quite an easy redesign to address as well. I think that with a little bit of tinkering, we could probably make use of this middle space for a gear tracker or something like that, or maybe move this back dial to the middle dial so that we've got seconds around the outside and minutes on the inside, something like that. The reason that this is a square tracker is because it is based on the dashboards from the original Rallyman Dirt, which I've finally been able to get hold of. So we are going to tackle the same stage, or at least as close as we can, but with the original boards. Yes, I admit it wasn't a dollop of modern Rallyman tiles earlier, it was a close recreation of this old school Rallyman stage by JFK, which is so easy to construct that it needs just 3 big rectangular tiles and 4 notes to describe it: V14, L23, C76 and L47. Wasn't life simpler back then, eh? There's no more need for the R5 Classic dashboards, as we'll be using the MRC on its asphalt tyres, which is identical in design, so there's nothing new to worry about there. The only thing I do need to worry about is that Gear 2 is more likely to roll hazards, as are, it seems, every other dice in my pool. We've got hazards on gear 2, hazards on gear 1. I love the original Rallyman. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, coast. Coast will be our first turn. Don't worry about the legality of our first turn. Let's just say that we've gotten 7 seconds on the clock as we go into the next round. We're going to have much the same strategy, of course. 4, 3 through the shortcut and then out eventually into gear 2. Let's do something like that. We are going to roll those flat out because we are checking out the Chronolire. We are going to have a hazard on gear 3. Nothing to worry about, but we do have to go into the shortcut deck to see what we get. And that is okay, we are good to carry on. We're going to add 5 seconds to our tracker and we're going to go into the next round. We're going to go first, coast through that inside trajectory. Do I want to go over the jump in 5th? It would put us here, right before the corner. Can we get there with the dice available to us? We certainly can. Are we going to go flat out on that? No, we are absolutely not. We're going to roll one by one and see what we do safely. Gear 2 does not show a hazard. Gear 3 is good. Gear 4 is good. And gear 5 over the jump is also good. Could have gone flat out, but we didn't. We are over here in 5th gear. Let's drop into 4th gear and go around the outside of this corner using the drift spaces. Of course, with these rules we have to match the speed limit. Let's go like that then into 5th gear, flat out on these 4 dice. 1 hazard on 5th gear, nothing to be concerned about. We're going to need to go 5th, 4th, 3rd, 5th, 4th, 4th, then we'll have to go around the outside to keep our time down. Let's do that. Much better having 2 coast dice to work with, no hazards and a 4th gear finish. Let's go around the outside in 3rd then and drift comfortably, end up in 5th gear through towards the next corner. It's a risky flat out, isn't it? But let's go for it, see what happens. 2 hazards, 5th gear, 3rd gear, not enough to lose control. We get 5 seconds added to the Chronolire and a 5th gear finish. And I think this might be a better run. Let's go into 5th in the shortcut, coast coast, and then 4th in the next shortcut. And we are going to roll these one by one. We're going to go through the first shortcut in 5th gear, and that is okay, we are good to carry on. I was wondering if we were going to have to relearn the rules about losing coast dice through shortcuts, but at the minute we do not, and we are okay again. We have been lucky with the shortcut deck as we end in 4th gear. Let's go into 4th coast, 5th over the jump, puts us into this space here and another coast like that. Let's go flat out, let's earn some seconds back, why not? We are going to have to look up the rules for jumping. We are over the jump in 5th gear, but it shows a hazard, and I can't remember if the old rules are different from the new rules. Let's find out. 1 gear above, the car jumps on the 2nd space ahead, but if the symbol hazard appears on the die just rolled, there is an immediate loss of control. I have spun out and crashed in what would be this space here. So I need to take a gear 5 time card and turn it over and see what happens. We are going off track, but more importantly, we are going off track to the right. That is different from the modern game, of course. We're going to end up in the trees. And in the trees on zone L means that we are going to take 1 damage token, which is somewhere around here. And we are going to cover up 1 of our gear die on the dashboard. So we're going to slot that in on one of these circles here, which happens to be smaller than the damage token. Good bit of design there. And we're going to have to limp back to the road on the next turn and see what we can do. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Lucky we've got 4 gears left. Let's cross the line as fast as we can to make up for that loss. We are going to have 2 hazards on gears 3 and 4, but we are able to finish. Have we finished in a faster time? Of course we haven't. We've crashed. I can't go flat out enough to recover from a crash on such a short stage, though I did manage to save the same amount of seconds as that first run, but my total time is still 2 minutes and 48 seconds. Or is it? Because there is some debate regarding jumps when going flat out, and depending on which side of the fence you sit, it could be argued that I didn't lose control here, certainly under the original rules, and not hugging the trees here could well have resulted in a run of 1 minute 48 instead. I'm sure I'll have plenty more rallies to ponder about those rules in future, but how many of them will be accompanied by the Chronolire, or something like it, and what's your impression of it? Is a dial tracker something that interests you? It cuts down on the amount of focus tokens there are on your table, but you're all responsible drivers who don't hoard them like Toyota Gazoo Racing hoard podium finishes these days, aren't you? And so you're not necessarily in need of constructing your own alternative solution. But with a bit of tinkering, I'm sure you could create a dial or two that keeps track of your actual stage time as you go along, and that might be fun. It would certainly make comparing stage times in the moment much easier. Unless you added a gear tracker on it somewhere as well, you'd still need to make use of the time cards, but if it's a neat little thematic widget that you're after, then the Chronolire has got to be a starting point for you at least. Whatever you think of it, and whether I put some time into designing my own or not, I hope you can see that even stretching back a decade and a half, the Rallyman community cares a lot about Rallyman. Rediscovery of long forgotten files can spark all kinds of ideas for your games, so dig into the archives now and again to see what you can uncover. I know I do.